Is the bad boy tractor actually reliable? It's a question that people have. I did tons and tons of research before landing on bad boy tractors. Now, I signed up as a mower dealer for Bad Boy. We were new to selling tractors when we started this, and now we started steamrolling, selling lots and lots of tractors. We got a lot that are actually out there in the field where I can tell you the case with it. Now we're about to jump into what these issues are with the Bad Boy tractors, and I am very unique compared to most dealers, because most dealers are not going to say, hey, I've seen this problem, I've seen this problem, I've seen this. I don't want you to think as you watch this Ford that there's all sorts of issues going on. I'm about to pinpoint some very few cases that I've seen. These are not common issues by any means, but I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you certain things that I've seen repeatedly. When I say repeatedly, I'm talking about like possibly a handful of times, okay? So keep that in context. Keep in mind, on this channel, I keep it real, I keep it honest. That's exactly what I'm trying to do in this video. So without further ado, let's jump right into the things we've seen. I've seen 0 catastrophic failures. The most common thing that I've heard of, number one, I would say coolant leaks. So I've got the hood pulled up here and you got your radiator up front. It's got a kind of reddish fluid, and I can't tell you, it's probably been a handful of times right in this first couple of years that I'm getting a call that, hey, I'm getting red fluid on the ground under the front of the tractor. There's a number of hose clamps that are actually holding, you know, the coolant lines that are on there, and we've just seen in a few cases that they were not tightened enough with the locking nut, and just some loose connection type stuff where there's been drips in a couple of cases. That is the most common thing I've seen, and it's really not a huge issue, right? And it's just something that if you do ever see that, that's common probably, I think, on any tractor, that you could potentially see something like that. Now, secondary issue, I don't really consider this a bad boy. This is probably just common, again, amongst all tractors. I've seen a number of cases, and we've got them here in Michigan, those cottonwoods and just things that are kind of floating through the air. And you got the fan of the radiator sucking in, trying to cool the engine, and this can get plugged up with this screen. It's important in any tractor that you get that you're regularly blowing it out, cleaning, because I've seen a few cases, you know, where you're getting overheating issues, and it's been related to that. And if your radiator gets plugged up, you're gonna overheat, the coolant's gonna get too hot, and you got your overflow tank, that's gonna start spilling over, okay? Whenever you have any sort of issue like that with overheating your tractor, that's the first thing you should look at, is that screen. This is a 35 horse tractor for Bad Boy, and so any of them, right, even into the smaller ones, this is a 22 horse, the smallest tractor that Bad Boy has to offer. Again, there's gonna be a screen in a little bit different location, and you gotta make sure that those stay well clean so you don't have issues there. Now, the only other issue, and this is something that can create controversy that I've seen, is talking about DPF systems. Now again, I put a lot of tractors out into the field, only one of which we've sold have I seen DPF issues. This isn't, again, keep saying it, my bias, I guess, as a Bad Boy tractor dealer, to me isn't just necessarily a Bad Boy thing, okay? DPF systems, this system right here is for the environment, and it's got filtration systems in it that can get clogged. Now, if that ever happens, you can pull these off and you can get them baked, is what it's called, right? And so it can get completely cleaned out, or in a catastrophic case, maybe you need an entire new DPF system. Now that system as a whole is extremely expensive. If you're going above a 25 horse tractor, something you gotta look out for is that DPF system. Now in the case that we saw an issue with this DPF system, there are temp sensors on it. And so this has a temp sensor before the DPF system. You might start to see running issues where you're not getting full power. If you ever have an issue with your DPF system or it needs a regen, your machine is gonna tell you, and you can actually put it through a regen by pressing a button, and it'll actually tell you on your screen if you're having an issue with that. Don't let me talking about this become a factor in you not wanting to get the horsepower that you need. With Bad Boy tractors, they have series levels. You can go as low as a 10 series. You can go up as high as a 50 series tractor. And the series level is gonna give you kind of the width of the tractor, and it's gonna give you hydrostatic lift capacity. The value that Bad Boy gives you in that tractor realm, and for the zero-turn mower realm as well, is really insane. You look at this tractor right here, you can get this in a 48 horse or a 55 horse tractor. This has 2,700 pounds of lift capacity. This other tractor that we started with over here It's their 4035. That has 2,200 pounds of lift capacity. You're gonna have to jump up to 35 horse, 48 or 55 horse with Bad Boy if you want to do some more rear power output, or you really need that digging power. Everyone that buys a tractor, it's not all about load or lift capacity. That is a monstrous Bad Boy advantage. Why did I feel comfortable a couple of years ago taking this brand on Bad Boy tractors when it hasn't been around for years and years? Well, I looked into the history of Bad Boy. So if you go into research mode on Bad Boy tractors, you're gonna see that they are working off the platform that Branson tractors used to work off of. Branson tractors is not around anymore. Kind of what was the history on that? Well, there's a company, Kukje. Kukje was making Branson tractors. Kukje is a tractor manufacturer. It's Korean. And every tractor that's out there, as far as that original manufacturer, John Deere included, any of them, are working overseas with the tractor manufacturing. And so this was no different. Kukje was making tractors for Branson. Kukje was actually making tractors for TYM. And at some point, TYM actually bought out Kukje. Bad Boy already had a deal agreement with Kukje when that happened, and so that agreement continued on with TYM. So technically you could say, well, it's a TYM engine, but really the tractor manufacturer that's been around for a while, it's making that engine right there is Kukje. Why is that such an advantage to have the Kukje engine? Well, every other system that's out there is going to be electronically fuel injected. You got a lot more electronic components that are affecting potential reliability down the road of the tractor. So people that are a little bit more gearheads can appreciate the fact of something that is mechanically injected. We did have a failure once in this DPF system. There's nothing on the tractor electronically that's not allowing it to run. And so one time when we actually had this plugged up, we were able to pull this temp sensor. Now everything past that point was clogged. This actually let air escape. This is the exhaust system. Air has got to get out of that system, and it was actually able to run after it couldn't before. There's nothing in the tractor electronically saying, we're not going to let you run. You could actually run a system from that pipe to this other pipe, and you could actually bypass that system. It's controversial that I'm even saying that, but the reality is some people like to know down the road this expensive DPF system, it could be bypassed. I would never do it, and I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just letting you know it's possible. And that's a big advantage because tractors are definitely expensive. As you go on there, getting services done on tractors, things that can go wrong, you get really big heavy duty components, the manpower that goes behind lifting a lot of these components, the labor is just simply more expensive, right? So if you can find a way, potentially get around that way down the road, that's something that I think is worth noting on here. And it's the Kukje advantage. People know the name Yanmar. If I go to the smaller tractor here, this 22 horse, and you can get a 1022 or you can get a 1025, both the 1022 and the 1025 are gonna have an actual Yanmar engine. When you go above that, if you go over here to the 3026, that's when they're gonna give you this Kukje engine for the first time, and everything above that is gonna be Kukje. So to keep building on that initial question, are Bad Boy tractors actually reliable? Let's talk about who should be buying a Bad Boy tractor. I always mention this when people come on the lot. You've got John Deere, you got Kubota. These guys have been in the game for a while. They know they've been in the game for a while. You're gonna be paying for the name. Now, I'm not gonna be like every other person that's gonna tell you, you're just simply paying for the name if you get John Deere or Kubota, because I think if you look really close at the creature comfort features of a company like John Deere, cosmetically, I think that you're gonna have a nicer tractor. I don't know what that exact price disparity is. We sell this tractor for $26,810. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an equivalent John Deere tractor out there and it's more like $40,000. I don't know what the exact number is. You guys could probably tell me an equivalent in what the John Deere is. The Bad Boy tractor is for someone who just wants something reliable, like what I've been talking about, because I really truly believe these are reliable tractors, and they're just simply gonna get the job done. And I hear people talk like a tractor is a tractor. Now, behind that, you're gonna have a dealer. You gotta have support behind it. The Bad Boy dealer network is smaller, of course, than a John Deere or a Kubota. If you look at the value brand driven tractors that are out there, brands like Coyote and LS, you're gonna be spending a very similar amount of money whether you get this or whether you get one of those other value driven brands. If you wanna know that your dollar is not being wasted, that's where I think this makes sense, right? You got loader lift capacities, you got heavy duty components throughout, all metal fender, all metal hood, cast iron front axle, And a nice thing with Bad Boy tractors from that whole value proposition is they're gonna give you tons of implement options. So the nice thing with Bad Boy is they're making their own implements start to finish in Batesville, Arkansas. Whether it be something new, they're coming out with new products all the time like the snow pusher, you can see the build quality that's on this. What Bad Boy tries to do is they try to give you more for less money. You can see I've got some 6-foot cutters and how they're made. Bad Boy's gonna give you rototillers. They're gonna give you grapples, hay spear, pallet forks, land graders, and there's many others that I'm not mentioning, but a big Bad Boy advantage in a lot of cases, and they've been doing this for years now, they're giving you a really nice rebate towards your first implement. So people are getting tractors because they typically want to do something off the rear end or they want to grapple off the front. They're typically getting an implement with purchase, and Bad Boy is really big on kind of bundling things together. We're the same way, right? So we're gonna give you a discount the more implements you buy. We'll actually give you a discount if you're buying a trailer on that trailer as well. So a lot of bundle type stuff, and that comes straight from the top with Bad Boy. And so the 1025, we got one loading up right now, that can take something like a 5-foot cutter off the back you see. So let's come back to the initial scene over here and let's kind of reflect on that initial question. Are Bad Boy tractors actually reliable? So with a lot of those tractors, you're gonna have, like I said, a little bit more baseline in terms of what you see creature comfort features, but when you get into the cab stuff with Bad Boy, so I got a 40 series tractor. Let's look at that first. This is where you can get that same version in a cab model, and that's where, to me, it starts to feel, again, maybe it's not as premium as a deer on the inside, but it starts to feel a little bit more premium to me. If you look on the inside of this tractor right here, you got a pretty ample amount of legroom in here. You actually have a stereo system. You have heat and AC options. When I turned the screen on in my first impression, this whole system in here is just a little bit nicer with the telescoping, and then you got a little bit better digital display screen. And even with this joystick, the way that ergonomically it's made, if you're someone who wants the creature comfort features, get a cab model with Bad Boy, because that's where you're gonna start to feel it. And then if I go up to the 50 series over here, and of course, I've been walking around with backhoe options on every single model that Bad Boy's got to offer. Here's a 50 series tractor. This is where it actually does start to feel a little bit bougie, because if you look at this seat, this is actually a heated seat with the stitching. Bad Boy's known for putting LED lights front and back, really shining things up. And then another nice feature, again, that whole value proposition that you get with the tractor is you get rear remotes here as a standard when you get to a cab model. You get telescopic link arms so you can hook on the 3-point hitch a little bit easier. I have absolutely bought into that reliability factor of the Bad Boy tractors. And again, look at the history. These have been made for a very long time. If you research histories, was Branson a reliable tractor? Yes, it was. I mean, you can kind of see that. It's not the exact same thing as a Branson tractor, but there's just a ton of similarities in there. It's not a brand new technology, right? So you got to look at who the dealer is that you're buying that tractor from. Come see us. We're in Jackson, Michigan. We have people making trips all the time to come see us. We really appreciate the support from you guys that have watched a lot of stuff on the channel and continue to make longer drives to come see us, or even just local stuff, right? We know you guys are watching and we definitely appreciate that. Hopefully I've just given you guys some value, given you guys some information, but until that next video, see you later.